Just a few months ago, we flew out of Atlanta into Lexington, Kentucky, filmed at an amazing location, jumped back on a plane, and we were home by dinner.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
So last fall, we got to fly into Lexington, Kentucky, and then actually fly home in the same day. So it was a crew of 3. So it was me and my sound guy, and then a drone pilot, and then he was also a second shooter. And so we got to go do this cool experience. The goal was to shoot this kind of video tour, kind of a behind the scenes tour, VIP experience at this farm for delivery to a client. This was 2020, it was the fall of 2020. And the reason that we did this was because the client that asked us to come film this for them, for their delivery, they normally bring guests to this location. And it's an amazing VIP experience that they provide for them. And unfortunately, due to coronavirus, they couldn't bring them there, but they wanted them to have an amazing experience at home.
Hey, Doreen, it is so good to have you here. I want to talk about that time we went to Kentucky. This was like 6 months ago. Can you tell me how that came about and why we went?
What was really interesting about Kentucky is that we were charged with doing one of our experiential learnings virtually. We needed to figure out, how do we bring this leadership group to Kentucky without literally having them in Kentucky?
It's easy to shoot a quick, easy kind of tour thing, but we wanted it to be very beautiful. We wanted you to feel what it's really like to be there. If you were standing there and you were looking around, what would you really look at and experience? So we went in with that goal, and I think we did a pretty good job. A lot of the drone footage that my good friend Joe shot was amazing. Joe's an amazing drone pilot. I've used him on so many projects where just high quality drone work is necessary, and he killed it.
And my good buddy Joe here is about to fly his drone through this horse stable, we think. He's hopefully going right through there with the drone. All right, here's Joe sending the drone through. He made it. He made it.
He just does these amazing shots. I'll think of a shot and I'll say, hey, can we start over here and can we kind of do this? And he'll say, yeah. And he's so kind about it, he'll do it, and then he'll say, would you mind if I try something while I'm here? And I'll be like, oh yeah, go ahead if you've got an idea. And then he does this shot, and it just blows my mind every time. It's so good. He just thinks through moves and shots that I just never come up with. And so Joe is amazing at that.
I feel so amazing because my clients feel so amazing. I mean, we were sitting back watching them watch, if that makes sense, virtually. People had their daughters on their laps, they had family in the room, and people were just glued to the screen, enduring a time of Zoom fatigue. The chat box was going like crazy. They were so grateful for something different, for something inspiring.
We were super blessed and fortunate to be invited to be the ones to help capture that, and we're so grateful to be entrusted with that. And hopefully the people at home, when they got to experience this VIP kind of tour thing that we created, hopefully they felt loved and appreciated the way that we intended them to.
My favorite part of the day probably was just seeing you all in the Sky Club, knowing we were gonna get on a plane to start traveling again, and just seeing the vision of what I had hoped would happen coming to life. I knew when you were done your magic with the editing and the sound and the epic scenery that this was going to be better than I could ever imagine, and it got me, it was amazing.
Give me, if you don't mind, just so people can understand what you do, because you do a lot. Can you kind of give us the quick elevator pitch on what those brands do?
Yes, absolutely. Well, the D brand, my whole purpose in life is to ignite people to find and live their best life. So however I can do that, I am all in. And then the other 2 brands are really just avenues in which I can do that. Prepare to Roar is adventure-based learning, getting people into nature, as you know, jumping off cliffs, underground waterfalls, leading safaris in the middle of the Serengeti, BVI boating, and helping people find their best life through adventure and leadership development. And then Riverbend is more of your traditional corporate brand, where we inspire and equip people, leaders, and organizations to become greater through leadership and development, culture work, training, etc.